Howdy there, my Chim Chims. Welcome back to One Great Manga War. Hopefully you are having a fantastic day. Today, we're doing something a little bit special, a little bit different, and we're going to be looking at my comic book collection. So grab a drink, kick your feet up, grab some popcorn, and grab some other snacks if you do enjoy that. Because this is going to be a very long video. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, this is a video I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. And that's for the simple fact is that I freaking love comic books. Unlike manga, which I've only done for a couple years, this has been a collection that I've been building up since I was 8. Freaking 8. A lot of these comic books have been here for over half of my lifetime. And that's just super crazy. And I have a lot of nostalgic feelings towards them. And there's a lot of them. I have about 3 short boxes, around 500 issues, and I am super excited to show you all of my comic books. So the first series we have, and the majority of this, will be Sonic the Hedgehog, the original series from 1992 or 3 to 2016. This is my bread and butter. This is a series that means a lot to me. And Sonic the Hedgehog is one of my favorite media franchises ever, if not my favorite media franchise in general, and has some of my favorite stories in all of fiction. Has one of my favorite video games of all time, Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Mania. If you haven't played them yet, play them. They're masterpieces. But something about this blue blur just takes me. I cannot explain it. Ever since I was so freaking young, this series has been with me, and I've grown up with it. If I had to say what my most influential series that on my life have been, it would be GTO, One Piece, and then Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, that's enough about me. Let's go look at the comic books. So, like I said, this is issue number. It starts out at issue number 2, and there's gonna be some odd middle parts missing, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Sonic the Hedgehog comic books are freaking weird, but weird in a really good way. They have a lot of backstory to them from the beginning, and it's really whack on how they decided to build this series up. At first, it started out with a very small comedy series. Each one of these are just one-off stories, and this one's one of my favorites. They do Batman. They have parody superheroes, but they don't say who they are. Some really great jokes in here. But it's basically it starts out as a comedy series, and each issue just has very pun-related humor. I have just realized where my sense of humor comes from. It probably comes from these comic books, because I am stupidly punny at times. I'm either doing the whole I obviously don't get the point, so I'll say, what does so if someone's oh yeah, my favorite JoJo, one of my favorite villains of all time is Diego. I'm oh yeah, dude, Diego from Dora the Explorer is my favorite character in Dora the Explorer, and when in reality they were talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But and there's puns, and these are filled with puns and are just so freaking great. I love Sonic the Hedgehog, like I said. But puns are fantastic. I am punny. I can't think of any right now, but they're great. And about right here is where it starts getting a little bit more serious with the stories. About issue 21. The stories in Sonic the Hedgehog are freaking whack. It kind of starts off with Mobius, where the robots, Dr. Iron Man's a bad guy, he's taking over the whole world, and he's roboticizing, which is this ability where he can, he has this machine that can take cute little animal guys and then turn them into robots. Issue 25, look at this cover. It's got that 90s foil to it. I love it. But, anyway, they have they get roboticized, and half of the people are roboticized in this series, pretty much. Majority of the people are. and Sonic the Hedgehog and his band of freedom fighters, which are all these characters right here. We have Sonic, Tails, Bunny, Sally, and Rotor, and there's Antoine, but he's not on this cover, but they all band together to defeat Dr. Eggman and his evil schemes. And eventually they do, but we're not at that issue yet, so I'm not going to spoil it. But at the moment, they're mainly building up in this area about right here, they're building up the characters and the background and what's going on. And as we get to like issue 30, we start having a little bit more backstory with Knuckles and his character. And Knuckles gets a lot of backstory. In fact, he got his own series. It is freaking crazy how nuts they went with Echidnas and Knuckles. And I'm not complaining. I actually really enjoy the Echidnas. I mean, you can go online and you see people joking about, oh, they're all just Knuckles the Echidna, which is like minor tweaks and stuff. I mean, yeah, they kind of are, but I really enjoy them and their characters. But yeah, look at this cover. This is great. Spaz is such great covers. Is this a Spaz cover? I think this is a Spaz cover. I cannot find the guy who did the cover on here. I believe this is a Spaz cover. Spaz is a great artist. I'm jumping around, but man. Ah, shoot. This one got bent. I'm gonna have to fix that one later, but like I said, I love the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book series, and all their background and story. And I believe this is on Mecha. The whole Mecha Madness arc was right when the series gets really freaking good. Sonic gets roboticized, because he wants to trick Eggman and stuff, but it doesn't work out. So Sonic loses control, and Knuckles becomes Metal Knuckles, and they have to fight it out, and it is so freaking cool, and I love it so much. Oh my goodness. Then after that, they're like, oh, we can't trust you anymore, Sonic, so they put him in jail or whatever for a little bit of time, which is kind of cool. But it's slow, right around 39, and up to 50, it starts building up to the Game Saga, which is a four issue little story about them actually killing Eggman. And it is so over the top and stupid that I cannot help but love it so freaking much. In-game, as much as this is a stupid story, this is a freaking stupid story, no joke. They have Sonic, he throws a thing of sand and he runs over it. It makes literally no sense. The panel about Sonic knowing what war is, it comes from here. It is an absolutely stupid story, but I freaking love it so much. It is... I do not come to Sonic the Hedgehog for a literary, masterpiece. I'm not expecting that. I'm just expecting to, turn my brain off and have a lot of fun. And sometimes, have to think about some stuff. And Sonic the Hedgehog does that perfectly. And here we are at issue 50, where Eggman is where they have to fight Eggman and he dies. It's awful. So for the next 75 volumes, we have no Eggman. And the book just kind of becomes aimless at this point. And it's just what do we do? What do we do with these characters? And what should we do? It makes no sense. It makes no sense, in my opinion, why they killed them all. But at this point, we have Naugus and Snively at this point, who are our main villains at this time. And this guy is a monkey. I believe it's called Pawn, I believe. And he's like an android robot monkey thing. Really cool character that really doesn't get developed on until issue 200. Which, this is issue 55, he does not get a lot of development. That comes in once Ian Flynn comes into the series, but... I remember... Okay, this one has a little story to it. I remember reading, seeing this cover, when I got these for Christmas one year, I was like, dude! Hyper Knuckles and Sonic are gonna fight, I don't remember the elephant's name, I apologize. I should know this stuff, because 40% of my brain is just random Sonic comic, information. But... this big guy right here takes all the emeralds, I believe, from multi dimensions and becomes this all powerful being. And Hyper Knuckles and Super Sonic have to fight him. And this one's actually a crossover issue with the Knuckles the Echidna series. And man, this issue is dog crap. It is dog crap, and it hurt me so much reading this because it looks so cool. The idea is freaking amazing, but no, it's a crap issue. And that's the thing with the Sonic the Hedgehog comics, is that a lot of the time, especially in the early years, from about issues from 60 to like 150, from 50 to about 160, the quality of the book ranges wildly. And that's not a good thing, obviously. But it still retains some of my favorite aspects of it, which is its very sprawling cast of characters, its very sprawling world, its lore. Oh my goodness, its lore. Dude, Sonic the Hedgehog's lore in the comic books is freaking nuts. This is when Robotnik comes back, by the way. Not Robotnik, it's like Eggman from Sonic Adventure, for the Sonic Adventure adaptation. This one, he's like from a different dimension where where this Eggman beat Sonic, and he's taken over the world and it was easy, and he looks at the world that Mobius Prime, that he's in, our main character's in, and he's like, he didn't win? Well, I gotta fix that. So then he comes over to this world and must fight the Freedom Fighters, hence taking over the, taking back the Eggman mantle. And it's pretty much Eggman, and, nothing really happened, you know, there's not a lot of backstory from him, with his, like, Egg Robo parts, like, after, like, 160. I know that was a lot of comic jargon, but these are comic books. Oh, I love this cover! Bro, Spaz! I believe this is Spaz. Yep, Spaz. Look at this thing. It looks like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I believe, because this is about when this came out. Love this cover. Look at it. I really like this issue, too. It's a lot of fun. This is right after the Sonic Adventure arc. And, this is the Sonic robot that comes, like, into Town Square, and they have to, like, get him out and stuff. And this is super cool. Okay, so this robot right here, in Sonic Adventure, he was only in a tube, and he was just, like, a decoration piece. But the comic book was like, you can do something with that. So, like, they made him a full-fledged character and a villain, and it's nuts! It's so freaking cool. I love it. How, like, they could take such small things from the series and, like, make it really big again. So, like, characters like Vector the Crocodile, Charmy the Bee, and Mighty the Armadillo, which weren't very popular characters at all in the 90s, got so much character and development and just interesting stories in general. And then you get to all the new characters that were added into the series exclusively. Here's another example of a Eggman from a different dimension, and other characters from different dimensions, and all like the new characters that were added to the series just to flesh out the world. See, look at this. Okay, so this is I don't remember their names, but I believe these are the king and queen of Mobius, which is Sally Acorn's mom and dad. Which Sally Acorn is like the main leader of the Freedom Fighters, and Sonic's girlfriend. It's a little weird. Yeah. Then another thing they did was 25 years later, which is where they take the characters and they put them 25 years in the future, and we get a story with them, where Sonic the Hedgehog's a king, and they have kids, and it's really, really weird. Not a big fan of Sonic being a king, nor Shadow being a king, as we go into 30 years later, but like, it's fine, not bad. I really do enjoy the stories though. It's just really weird seeing Sonic as a king. And then we have Home 3 or 4. I love this cover. I really like the early 2000s covers. I love early 2000s crap in general. But like, this cover's dope. Alright, what else do we got? Here we go. Here's another one, 36. At this time, we get a new Freedom Fighter called Tommy the Turtle. Hey, there he is, Tommy the Turtle. And he's like Tails, sort of? Like, he has the same idea of Tails, where he's a character. Here's another one of the echidnas they were added in. Julie Sue, and that's Knuckles' dad. But Tommy the Turtle is like a Freedom Fighter that's very similar to Tails, where he's like mechanical, like he's very big brains and like does mechanical stuff. But he's not that interesting, and since Tails already has that part, he's just kind of like in the middle ground of like, we don't know what to do with him. So like they've killed him off, like tried to kill him off multiple times, but he eventually does die later in the series. But that is one thing about this Sonic the Hedgehog comic book you wouldn't expect. A lot of characters die in this, and I mean a lot. And if you go, further down into this, a lot more die. Shrek Twinkies. But this is such a weird and goofy series, and is just so way out of left field for Sonic the Hedgehog and just comic books in general. This is a one-of-a-kind type of series that I think if you like Sonic the Hedgehog, you will probably enjoy this. Or you'll either hate this. It just depends. But for me, I love this series. This is really interesting because they take a Japanese character and they take American ways of making comic books, and it kind of like meshes together. It's like this really weird and ugly, but still like very beautiful combination that hits a really nice sweet spot. All right, this is about where Ian Flynn takes over, and then everything after this is like absolutely fantastic. There were still some fantastic stories in here beforehand, but after 60, like the quality just shoots up out of the freaking roof. Instead of just being like bonuses of like the characters being having a very deep backstory and deep lore, he actually starts using the lore in very interesting ways and different ways you wouldn't expect. This was a really cool issue, by the way. This is where Tommy the Turtle dies. Really tragic. He got like not roboticized, but he got controlled by like this android stuff. Really weird, really cool. Really like this issue a lot. And Ian Flynn just took this series and just blew it out of the water. Okay, this is where Sonic actually loses, by the way. He actually loses this fight. It's really cool. But it's a really, really deep part of Sonic lore that I think a lot of people should read. I love it so much. Like I've said it a bazillion times. I apologize. I want to gush about this more than I am, but I'm trying to like get through the whole series and stuff. This one's really cool. Surge the Hedgehog! Surge the freaking Hedgehog. Alright, so the reason that reminded me is because he turned super in the issue previously. But Surge the Hedgehog is one of my favorite Sonic characters, period. He is Sonic the Hedgehog from a different dimension. An evil Sonic. I know, not original. But they take him and like invert his personality in very interesting ways. And that's what makes him super interesting. This was actually my first ever issue I got. Issue 221. I was 8 when I got this. And back in 2011. Man, it's crazy how old this series has been with me. I love it so much. But Surge the Hedgehog. Yes. He's green, got a biker jacket, like scratches on his stomach. He's like a real edgy character, but it's like edgy in a good way, I would say. He's edgy, but not like super over the top. Genesis arc, one of the best arcs in the Sonic comics, by the way. He's just a lot of fun, honestly. I don't want to go too much deep into him because we're kind of past that point, and I don't want to be gushing too much about this series because I'm trying to get through them all. Okay. I know I just said I wasn't gonna gush. I wasn't gonna gush about. I wasn't gonna stop. I was getting through this. Holy crap, Mecha Sally arc. This right here, from 230 to about 240, is like near perfection in the series, and it's a shame the whole series got rebooted around 260. But we're not there yet. Man, I love these comics. Around this time, this is where my parents actually started paying a monthly subscription for them to ship the comics to my house. So there's a lot more issue-wise, it's more consistent. I love this stuff. This is where I got really deep into the series when I was a lot younger, and look at these comics, gorgeous. I need to read these again, honestly. This series means so much to me, and going through them and showing all this makes me incredibly happy. So I'm glad y'all are watching this with me. But man, look at this cover! It's great. Anyway, this is about the point where they're like trying to get Sally Acorn back from roboticization. It was a really emotional moment for the series. This is an actual Olympics comic book that they reportedly did for McDonald's or something. I don't know. Really cool though. Sonic the Hedgehog has to like save his girlfriend Sally Acorn from being roboticized. Metal Knuckles, really cool design. And they're having a really hard time dealing with it. This is the endangered species arc where all they can is pretty much just disappear. It's so sad. Due to outside forces of Archie. And this is the post-reboot. This is reboot stuff. And while it is still good, it's not nowhere near as good as what it came before it. I still enjoy this a lot, but man, it's just not the same. Honestly. Yeah, I like this stuff. This is the Sonic Smackdown Champions arc. Really great arc for the Shattered World Crisis stuff. So in the how they did the reboot was that they had a crossover with Mega Man. Yes, they had a freaking crossover with Mega Man. Amazing idea. Also has some of those comics, but they did it like that, and it's so freaking cool. Oh my word! So what they did with it is that they Eggman actually wins the fight with Dr. Wily. Dr. Wily and Eggman actually win, and they reboot the whole series with this thing called the Super Genesis Wave. And like all the characters that were owned by Ken Penders got disappeared, and they're never seen again, sadly. I'm not really mad at Ken Penders, to be honest with you. I don't think what he did was right. I don't think what he did was wrong. It was just kind of like, eh. I think it was kind of stupid on Archie to not have that information on them, but I'm guessing if you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, you can look it up. There's a Ken Penders lawsuit. Like I said, 40% of my brain is random Sonic facts. I could go deep into this stuff. I'm trying to keep it at the very tip of the iceberg for y'all. And this is once they did the post-Shattered Shattered World Crisis. They did like a thing with like Sonic Unleashed, but kind of not. We get Werehog Sonic, really cool. And they really don't do a lot with Werehog Sonic, but it's enjoyable nonetheless. Now this right here, this is something I love about comic books that I really don't do that much with manga. Are covers that combine together to create one big looking cover. So we're gonna take this one. Look at that. So these connect, create one. You can take it, and this one goes and connects. Yeah, that one connects, and this one connects. Look at that. It's really beautiful. And I love that about the comic books. And they did that a lot for Archie comics, especially the Knuckles. I believe nearly every issue in the Knuckles one were connected. But now we're reaching the end of the series with Sonic the Hedgehog 288, 289, final issue 290. The series got canceled in the middle of the Genesis of a Hero arc for some reason, and eventually it got picked up by IDW. IDW Sonic the Hedgehog is still good. Not my type of book, in my opinion. I still enjoy it, but it's not as good, in my opinion. I really enjoyed the lore building and the characters' background and stuff, and they were very, very lenient on what you could do in the old one. This one feels a lot more like a comic book about video games compared to what Sonic the Hedgehog's original one was. The Archie series felt a lot like a comic book, while this feels more like a media tie-in thing. Which isn't bad, it's still good, it's just not what I want in a series, and that's completely fine. For example, they did this Metal Virus Saga right around when the, I can't say it because YouTube, but when it happened, and it was really cool seeing all that happen, but it could have been a lot better. Love this cover. It would have been a lot better if we could have had the characters fleshed out more instead of doing it on like issue 20. This one also has a metallic foil. Love metallic foil. 90s cheese, 2000s cheese, whatever the heck. It's also a great cover. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's really cool covers. Really interesting story. It's not bad for only $4 a month. I ain't complaining. I did stop reading it though due to the thing. I couldn't go out of the house very much due to health problems. But so I stopped reading it around halfway through it. Of the Metal Virus Saga. But it's really cool though. I like it a lot. Look at that. Look at this. In this saga, like everybody, there's a metal virus that takes over people's bodies and controls them. Poor cheese. It takes over them, and they lose control, and they become mindless zombies, pretty much. So it is a zombie Sonic the Hedgehog story, which is so freaking cool. Like, who would have thought of this? So cool and interesting. But due to the fact that the lore really wasn't built up at this point, a lot of the characters that we meet, like Tangle and Whisper, while we know them a lot, they're just, it's not as impactful as it could have been. If they would have given this, like, if they would have waited 50 issues, or like even 25, given the series to like be fleshed out a little bit more, then this would have been like a freaking amazing arc. But that's not what happened. This is a 2019 annual. Really cool. This actually feels like a book too. It's also really thick. It's also got like a spine on it. Really dope. Alright, and now we're jumping into Sonic Universe, which is the main second series of Sonic the Hedgehog. Which ran from 2009 to 2017. So, let's go into it. We have Sonic Universe 30 Years Later, which is a 5-year time skip from the original 25 years later. Really cool story. Really like this one. Like, Evil Shadow gets like revived by Laura Sue, I believe, and they have to like stop him, and like Chaos gets involved. Really cool story. And then we have the Knuckles arc, which I only have one issue of this. Love the cover, and I'm really interested in seeing what it's about once I buy more issues of it. I love this cover. I love Knuckles in general in the series. They did really cool stuff with them. Journey of the East, really cool. I read the one issue. It's fine. Tails gets a really cool little miniseries. It's dope. Sonic Universe only lasts 4 issues. Each story arc is 4 issues. There's a couple one shots in there, but each one has a 4 arc miniseries, and these are these are breaking up into 4 arc miniseries. Surge the Hedgehog, Lockdown, one of my favorite arcs, but they're breaking up into 4-part little miniseries, and they're put all into this one series. Really great stuff. It's like it gives you enough time to like enjoy it, but like not enough to dwell on it. If that makes sense. It just keeps going and going on to the next one. So like if you don't like this specific arc in like 4 months, they'll just swap it to a new one. And it really shows how in-depth the Sonic universe is, as this is a series that mainly dealt with the side characters. And it's just freaking crazy to me that Sonic the Hedgehog has that amount of characters to be able to have a side series run like this. This almost has 100 issues before it got canceled. This has 100 issues, almost 100 issues, based exclusively, majoritarily, on side characters of the series. And the fact that these characters are so in-depth and created like this is just insane. This one's a really cool one. Love this cover too. But man, it's just so much fun reading this and growing up with it. So yeah, I'm going to be quiet for a little bit so we can just go all on the covers. Alright, I'm gonna stop. Alright, guys, I gotta talk about this. I apologize. Boom! This is the second Mega Man and Sonic crossover, where they took Sonic, Mega Man, Sonic Boom, and Mega Man X, and they did a crossover with it. Really freaking cool. Man. Alright, I'll go back to silent now. now we're slowly wrapping up with the Sonic Universe series. As it got canceled again in another arc with the Chaotix, which was a really cool one. They got like pirates and stuff, really dope. Sadly, got canceled on a. No, it got canceled. It finished actually. I remember now. It got finished on the Chaotix stuff. Really cool little arc. Got pirates. Love pirates. Yarg. Yeah, tell. Alright, next series we have is Sonic Boom. This is actually one of my favorite out of the whole Sonic comic book series. As you can tell, there's a lot of comic books. I believe there's like 5 main series from Archie, and then there's like a couple, like 3 from IDW. Sonic Boom is one of my favorites out of them. It's a comedy series, just like the TV show, and it's freaking hilarious. Sometimes it's referential humor, sometimes it's memes, sometimes it's puns. So I freaking love that stuff. Alright. Anyway, this one's a cool one. In the crossover, they had like 12 connected covers. That was one of them. Pretty cool. And it ended on 11 issues, sadly. I should have went on for longer because it was one of the best stuff that was coming out from Archie at that time. Now this one's a little bit of an oddity. Alright, so Sonic X. A Japanese property based on a Japanese television show, but made into an American comic. Why not? Why not? And this ran for like freaking forever. I want you to guess. I want you to guess how many issues this series got. Shot in the dark. Did it get 10 issues? 20 issues? 25 maybe? Nope. It got 40. 40! 40 issues! Which is insane. This series can be a lot of fun. Can be a lot of fun. It has one of my favorite versions of Eggman in the whole series. El Luchador, he's like a luchador wrestler thing for a couple issues. It's freaking hilarious. I love it. And like Chris Thorndike is like his biggest fan or whatever. And like Chris Thorndike inspires him to keep going as the wrestler. Freaking whack and crazy. And I love it so much. Alright, just some really cool covers, but the stories like are like Sonic Boom, or just like one-off stories. Nothing really to write home about. Neither is the art, to be honest. Most of the time. Here's the Luchador Eggman. Really freaking cool. Alright. Now we get to the lore. The lore. This is the Sonic Bible right here. Knuckles the Echidna. This ran for 32 issues and was presumably about Knuckles the Echidna and his tribe of echidnas. It is really freaking cool. I really enjoyed it. And it is really whack. And it built a lot of lore for this series. And Knuckles the Echidna series has connecting covers, which is really cool. But I really enjoyed it to a degree. The first arc is awful. The second arc's pretty decent. The third arc's pretty good. This arc right here. There is a drug that's like, it's like, I don't remember, it was Lily Sundrop Dandelion or something like that. You know, LSD. They didn't call it that, but they called it Lily Sundrop Dandelion. Freaking whack. By our Sonic comics. But everybody gets drugged and dies. Some people die from this stuff. And it's like a murder mystery. Like, who is giving people this drug? And it's really cool. But one thing that's really shocking about this series is that this specifically deals with echidnas. And I don't believe Eggman or any of the characters... Well, Eggman was dead at this point. But anything besides, like, the echidnas ever really dealt with them. Which is weird. Now it is, but at the time it was fine. But it's super cool. But the Sonic comics... the Knuckles comics are really weird. If you look at it from outsider's point of view, but if you enjoy the series, it's perfectly fine. It did at 32. One thing I do gotta say about the Knuckles comics, though, is that it has a reference to, like, the Holocaust. Like, they took an excerpt from someone who was a Holocaust survivor, and I can't freaking think it was stupid. But, he took it and then, like, changed the words of, like, to Germans and Chinese on dingoes and stuff. It was awful. Awful that he would do something like that. But it's really weird. It's the Sonic First, which contains some of his first ever appearances of a lot of characters. Pretty dope. Sonic Super Special was this quarterly series where they just pretty much do whatever the heck they want. This is an Image crossover with characters that nobody cares about. You know, if it was like Spawn, he's on the cover, but he's not really in it. Like, it was Spawn, Savage Dragon, or stuff like that. You know, it'd be really cool. But no, it's like this guy, Max. Like, it's not that interesting. This one's actually one of my favorite issues from Super Special. It introduces Sonic. It's made by Dan Slott, which is the dude who did a lot of Spider-Man stuff. Really cool. Created Sonic. It has anime-inspired stuff. Sailor Moon parody. Really funny, too. Then we also have Super Special Sonic Kids. Don't remember anything about it. This is actually really cool. This one is a Sonic encyclopedia. It's a very small free comic book day Sonic encyclopedia. Really cool. And then we're finally out of the Sonic. So now we can go into the other series. Mega Man. You want to talk about Ian Flynn's best series he's ever written? It's Mega Man. Mega Man is, I don't know. It's like my second favorite comic book of all time. I'll say that, yeah. We haven't seen the first, my favorite comic book of all time yet, but this is so freaking good. If you like Mega Man, even just a tiny bit, like the slimmer, like a size of a mustard seed, if you like him that much, you have to read this series. It is a freaking masterpiece for a freaking comic book tie-in. Read it. It's so freaking good. It got up to, I believe, to the adaptation of Mega Man 5, I believe. And it has like all kinds of other characters they added in, which like make the series better. It takes the story that was laid down by the video games and turns them into this masterpiece of a story, and is so. I love the Mega Man comics so much, and they were also my childhood. But yeah, I love Mega Man. Read it. Yep, just more Mega Man comics. A lot of really cool stuff. A lot of the baddies from the series were just kind of like not really developed. Mega Man X also appeared here, but weren't really developed that well. But as we go further into the series, they actually get character development, personalities, stuff that really wasn't in the games, and it's really interesting seeing that. Like Iceman has like a crush on Roll, and it's kind of like a coward character, sort of, not really, but it's really interesting seeing him give so many characters a lot of personalities. Ooh, this was a really cool cover. But pretty much everyone who did the Sonic comics also worked on the Mega Man comics, and it feels like they did a lot better on the Mega Man comics. And like I said, I love the Mega Man comics. And if you have a mustard seed sized love for Mega Man, you should read this. And it's a relatively cheap series and relatively short series at only like 55 issues. I recommend it. If you're a Sonic fan and you don't know if you want to get into it, try out the crossover series they did. They did 2 of them. And see if you like that first. But, Mega Man, love it so much. Now we're getting into more traditional comic books, which is pretty funny. So, now we have our first traditional series. And you'll be seeing a lot of his face. We have Spider-Man, but not just any type of Spider-Man. We have Superior Spider-Man. This is where Doc Ock takes over the body of Spider-Man. And it is such a fun series. You get to see a really different type of Spider-Man. Because Doc Ock's taking over. You get a really cool character redemption arc for Doc Ock. I really love this series. But comic books are comic books, and they kind of screwed it up. Later down the line, like, oh, he's revived. We're going to do a second series. I don't know, man. Weird. But this series is one of my favorite Spider-Man stories in general, and can be read by itself. You don't need anything before it besides the fact that this is Doc Ock. And you just jump in on issue number 1 and just read it and enjoy it. Almost backwards. Solo Spider-Man 2099. We'll get to that though. But yeah, Superior Spider-Man is, in my opinion, a superior Spider-Man than most Spider-Man stories. It has my favorite version of the web crawler that isn't the original. And man, oh man, it's so good. So freaking good. It is also really short, at only like 33 volumes, and can be found relatively easily. I absolutely recommend it if you have not read it before. You want to try something out, or just get into comic books in general, this is a perfect starting point. And yeah, Superior Spider-Man. Alright, so now we have 3/4 of a short box left. If you have made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. I'm glad to see you're enjoying it. If you have made it to this point, I would like to know. I'm not for sure how. If you were to say something crazy or wacky, just saying something simple like, hey, I made it to this point. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate you watching this to this point. Now, we are at the final stretch, and now I'm going to get to one of my favorite series of all time. All-Star Superman. Okay, Superman is one of my favorite characters in fiction. His kindness, his character, the struggles he goes through, and his superpowers and all that stuff makes him an incredibly endearing and interesting hero. His rogues gallery is absolutely amazing. Lex Luthor, Bizarro, Superman, and all of his gallery of characters is just amazing. If I was ranking my favorite series of all time, including comic books, Superman would be number 4. 1 through 3 of my manga stuff would still be 1 through 3 of my normal series, with Superman would be number 4. All-Star Superman would be number 4. I love this series so much. I'm not going to go into detail with it. If you do want me to, though, I'd love to know. If you do, just tell me. But I love All-Star Superman so much. And if you have not read it yet, it's on Amazon Prime. You can read it that way. It's also really cheap online. I absolutely love it. Alright. So now we have another one of my bigger series, which is Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man is the ultimate way to experience Spider-Man. Hey, look what I did there. But man, I just love Ultimate Spider-Man so much. It takes the 600 plus comic books that Ultimate Spider-Man has, and then turns it into this fairly short 150 issue series. And it is just so good. It takes all the best parts about Spider-Man, crunches it together into this really nice and digestible series, and it's so good, so good, so good. Like for example, Venom shows up by issue 30, I believe, 30 or 33, something like that. And the Green Goblin's there from the beginning, and the Green Goblin is actually a mutant this time instead of just him just being a guy in a suit, which I think is really cool. You've seen the movie, the Spider-Man animated movie. I don't remember what it's called. I apologize. Spider-Verse. There we go. Spider-Verse. It's actually based on the Ultimate Spider-Man comic books to a degree. Miles Morales isn't in the original series. He comes on much later, but the original is such a fantastic story, series in general. I absolutely recommend it. Really great stuff. I'm about to get in the Carnage stuff around issue 60, and he is my favorite villain of all of Spider-Man, and I definitely need to get some more issues of him. I have a couple issues of Carnage, though. I have, as you'll see later, I have some Maximum Carnage issues, but besides that, we're going into the next Spider-Man series, which is Spider-Man 2099. And this right here is one of my favorite covers of all time. Absolutely love it. Foil, 90s foil. I am a sucker for this stuff. Looks freaking great. Love this cover so much. So, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we got 11. But this series is just so good. It's not amazing. It's a little hard to read at times, just trying to keep up with it. But I really do enjoy this series. I really like the costume, I like the character, I like the story it's in, being a future of 2099. And it is a lot of fun. It is definitely the weakest out of my Spider-Man comic books I have, which is not saying it's bad or anything. It's just I just have better Spider-Man stories, pretty much. Next one, we just have a couple Incredible Hulk stories, and I do love this little arc I got right here. We have Incredible Hulk issue 375, issue 376, issue 377 with that infamous bright green cover. This is one of the best Hulk stories in general, and I was really shocked when I read this at first because like this series, I'm not expecting much when it comes to Hulk, but this stuff I've read was really shocking because it showed that Hulk can be a really good character by itself, and I really enjoyed it. Next we have Spider-Man Unlimited #1, the fabulous first issue. Love this cover, love Carnage. Carnage is such a fantastic villain, and a great offspring to Venom. Too bad Maximum Carnage isn't that great. We also have issue 1 of Spider-Man Unlimited and issue 2 of Spider-Man Unlimited, which is the finale of the Carnage, Maximum Carnage storyline. I need to get the rest of it because I do want to read it. Alright, and then now, finally, these are just miscellaneous issues of random stuff that I haven't put in a certain section yet. So, this Mighty Crusaders, volumes 1 and 2. This was given to me after my subscription to Sonic the Hedgehog got canceled. They gave me some of these. Not very good of a series, even though it is written by Flynn. I'm not a big fan of it. We got the amazing Slapstick. Love this series so much. Only 4 issues, super cheap. If you have not read Slapstick yet, I suggest it. Really great short series. Then we have this free comic book issue of Spider-Man with Carnage. I haven't even read this yet. I should have. But it's really cool. I like Carnage, so I picked it up. For Comic Book Day. We have Cosmo #1. Actually pretty decent. I was really happy about this. And this may be the only time... Oh wait, no, this is a different issue. My bad. We got Free Comic Book Day, Sun and Moon. Just random. This is actually really weird. Okay, so this is called the Fox Box. And it's like a book of like random stuff that was on the Fox Box at the time from 4Kids and stuff. Really weird. Got some Sonic stuff in it though. Shaman King though. Whoa, look at Shaman King. Dope. I'm really looking forward to the 3-in-1 when I eventually do read it. Eventually, but it's really interesting. Howard the Duck! Another really great series I enjoy a lot. Not in its own series because I don't have a lot of issues of it. I only have 3. Howard the Duck. From the oven it rises. My man. Great comedy. Tell you. Howard the Duck. Or, in this case, Howard the Human, A Foul No More. Pretty cool. The final issue is Howard the Duck, Material Duck, living in a material world. Then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures, #58. Not that bad. I also have the IDW, issue #3. Really want to get some more IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It wasn't so expensive online. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a lot. I would love to get some more issues if they weren't, expensive. This is, I believe, my first ever, this is my second ever Sonic comic. This is Free Comic Book Day 2011. And I had this in my second grade, what's it called? I had this in my second grade drawer at school. And I would read it whenever I was finished with like a quiz or something. And I read the crap out of it, as you can tell. I would never, even when I was 8, I would never would have taken a book, a Sonic the Hedgehog comic book, that I paid for. I would not take it there because I would be afraid of being stolen or broken and ripped up like this. But since this was free, I could care less. So, I'm not mad about that. This is maybe the only time we may ever see the graphic novel Arms, which is really, really sad because, man, from what I read from this free comic book issue, it was a really good idea and really good story. And it still isn't out yet. I don't know why. I don't know why they haven't released it yet. According to Ian Flynn, it was like complete. I'm pretty sure he said it was complete, nearly complete, or something like that. And it just hasn't come out. It just makes me really sad because I want to read this. It's so good. But what can you do? This was a little bit of an oddity. Super Mario Brothers issue 6. It's kind of whack. Really weird. Really interesting though. This is actually a hilarious issue but not in a good way. It's an awful, awful comic book, but I laugh at it so much. Okay, so in this comic book there are these two bushes, and literally their whole point is to make leaf pies. Like, why don't you make off a leaf and leave me alone? I have a stick to pick with you. Stupid stuff, and I love that stuff. Love it so much. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I keep it. And then I got some more miscellaneous Superman issues. Really enjoyed them. We have Superman action comics, really cool. Bizarro Superman's one of my favorites. Death Trap, pretty cool. And this is issue 501, where we get to see Superboy. Really cool. And then I have this random issue of Infinity Crusade, which is like the third book in the Infinity trilogy. Not that good. Not even lying to you. And then we have Black Panther number 6. Really love Black Panther. He's my favorite Marvel character, I believe. Yeah, I was second favorite Marvel character. And then Archie number 1 issue. And those are all my comic books. We also have his graphic novels that I showed off in my manga collection. We have Scott Pilgrim, the whole collection 1, 2, and 3. Omnibus color editions. If you haven't read Scott Pilgrim yet and you're into video games or just geek stuff in general, I suggest it. Really great romance story. I enjoyed it a lot. But with that, those are all of my comic books I have, and they're all over my floor at the moment. But thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you a lot. I really, truly do. Thank you for watching my beautiful, beautiful Chim Cham, and go out there and read some manga and some comic books. Talk to you later.